go to my story on mynorthwest.com. We've got that list for you.
Okay, thanks for that update, Luke. It's 6:06 now. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell continues to trail challenger Katie Wilson by about 5 points in recent polls. Even so, Harrell tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM he thinks he's going to win in November.
There's brand A or brand B at this point that people are seeing the two distinctions, and there's no learning curve on this job.
Wilson recently told KIRO Newsradio's John Curley that since she started campaigning, she's been forced to prioritize certain things.
And so I feel like I've learned a lot through that. And,
Have you learned that you're tougher than you thought you were?
Absolutely.
According to the Northwest Progressive Institute, 52% of those polled disapprove of the job Harrell has done. Meantime, the race for King County executive is too close to call. Seattle Times reports Claudia Balducci now holds a slight edge over Gurmeet Zalahai. A new poll from the Northwest Progressive Institute says Balducci is at 37%. Zahile is at 35%, but 28% of voters are still undecided. Both candidates are progressive Democrats and largely agree on policy. Ballots are due by 8 in the evening Tuesday. And a quick note here, we will have both Balducci and Zahile on Seattle's Morning News tomorrow.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, good morning. Thursday, October 30th, the eve of All Hallows Eve. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda has the day off today, but Sully is here.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, you're learning the pitfalls of AI images you create.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I tried to learn and have a little fun.
Yeah.
So sometimes I need to check the really, 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 really fine print in some of those AI images.
Yeah, you gave it's not even a radio station that exists in Seattle. You gave the frequency for KIRO, and I'm like, Sully.
And I didn't really even give the frequency. I said it was not FM, it was PM.
Yeah, of course.
Apparently.
Of course. So
I'm trying, right?
You can check out the picture at News Guy Sully on X. It's very funny to see. You have a choke point coming up today, right?
Yes, I do. We're going to take a look at how the State Patrol plans to enforce the new tolling system on 167 as they do on 405. So we'll talk about that coming up next.
Okay, and producer David Burbank back in studio. Just real quick, the Blue Jays looking tough, aren't they? Against the Dodgers World Series?
I don't even know how to feel about it at this point. You know, it's like part of me feels a little better that the Blue Jays are doing well. Like, oh, well, we lost to the best, but also you kind of wanted to see them get squashed by the Dodgers. So
yeah.
I don't know. I guess we will see if it goes to 7.
Okay. Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News, sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. And we had that outage with Microsoft yesterday. They have resolved the problem with this Azure Cloud Network service. People were having a hard time accessing things like Office 365 and Xbox Live.
Because so many sites and businesses use Microsoft's cloud service, an outage like this one can have widespread impacts. Ian Schur, a tech contributor for CBS News, says Microsoft, Amazon, and Google all make big money renting out space on their computer systems.
The internet's basically broken into 3 different groups. That means that when one of them has a bad day, we all feel it.
Last week, a massive outage of Amazon's cloud computing service took down a broad range of things online, including social media, gaming, food delivery, streaming, and financial platforms. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And the fallout from the outage left Alaska Airlines passengers scrambling yet again. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman.
It happened again.
Long lines, frustration.
An IT outage had Alaska Airline passengers at SEA.
So we've been in line for about an hour and a half now.
Anxious, wondering if they'd miss their flight. It's the second outage problem for Alaska Airlines in the past week. A spokesperson told us this outage, though, is because of the global Microsoft Azure outage. According to the tech giant, this all inadvertently happened due to a configuration change, but it also impacted Starbucks, Costco, Capital One, and many more.
6:10 now. It's an unfortunate sign of the times. Pop-up emergency food distribution centers, and one of the largest is at the Tacoma Dome. That's where we found KIRO News Radio's James Lynch, who filed this report.
Families waiting sometimes for hours to put food on the table as we see SNAP and other food assistance programs being cut because of the government shutdown. The event is sponsored by Eloise's Cooking Pot Food Bank. President Andrea Blue says they are helping people now they've never helped before.
They've driven across other counties, from Olympia, from Kitsap County, from Seattle, to come get food at this distribution.
Each car gets a box of food with 9 meals plus fresh vegetables and a protein. In Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Washington Senator Maria Cantwell is demanding answers from the NBA amid a betting scandal. Cantwell and Senator Ted Cruz sent a letter to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver urging transparency after federal indictments accuse players and coaches of rigging games and leaking insider info. The senators call it a matter of congressional concern and say the integrity of basketball is at stake. They want a full response from the league commissioner, Adam Silver, by November 10th. More honors for Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. He's been named Player of the Year and American League Outstanding Player by the MLB Players Association. Both awards are voted on by fellow players. Raleigh is the first Mariner ever to win Player of the Year. 6:12 now. Let's get a check on weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Hey, Nick, last time we were talking yesterday, there were at least some hopes that we would be able to have a somewhat dry trick-or-treating tomorrow evening. Now I'm seeing a pinpoint alert.
Yep. Well, I decided to nothing's changed from yesterday. I'll tell you that right away, except that I decided to make it a pinpoint alert because of the impact potential, because I really think you're going to find a lot of rain tomorrow night. But starting off earlier in the day, it is lighter. So the earlier you can go is your better bet for tomorrow. But after about 5, 6 o'clock, I really think just about everybody is just going to have rain. All right, so please know you got wet weather coming in, and it's just going to be a wet and blustery night tomorrow and into Saturday. This morning, we have some chilly temps in the 30s and 40s, and we also have some fog to go with it. It will be a mostly cloudy day, and it will be a mostly dry day as well, unless you have a little bit of fog where you may have some mist. But outside of that, it looks mostly cloudy. It looks really nice, and it will just be a day in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, a little blustery, and even today will be a little blustery. Rain will increase tomorrow mid to late afternoon, lighter at first, but then just increasing in intensity and going all night into early on Saturday. It will be breezy to windy, getting a little windier Saturday morning as the rain turns to showers. We'll pick up anywhere from like 1/4 of an inch to an inch plus of rainfall. Yeah, if you're going trick-or-treating tomorrow, that's why we made it a pinpoint alert day. Even if the rain is lighter, the impact is huge because everyone's going to be outside, so please plan on some rain. Sunday still has a chance for a couple of showers. Shouldn't be bad, but we also have to set our clocks back. If, take that for, I guess, a win because you get a little extra sleep. I just don't like it. But, you're going to get wet.
Nick, you'll be able to wake up at 2 in the morning and feel refreshed.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't think it's humanly possible.
All right, Nick, thank you. Right now in Seattle, we have clouds. It's 43. Let's head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
Does that mean we really have to prepare for trick-or-treaters starting maybe around 3:30 or 4 for the younger kids just out of school?
Might be.
Okay, that changes my calculus just a little. On the roads right now, we're not too bad. We do have the brake lights working our way up through Pacific, up the Valley Freeway, but overall about a 52-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton is about what we've come to expect with those lane restrictions. Then Renton to Bellevue, still under 20. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy, 35 minutes for you guys. Some brake lights up the hill to 18, a little bit past 320th, but overall 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Lake bridges are quiet. Coming down from the north end, we're starting to pick up a little bit of action on southbound 405 as you work your way past 527 and Canyon Park, but not bad. 40 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. And I'm getting reports of a crash on eastbound 18 just east of Tiger Mountain in the right-hand lane. Haven't found it yet. Haven't seen a lot of backup around it, but I'm searching. This report brought to you by Wilcox Family Farms Eggs. Fresh food comes from local farms. For healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s, choose Wilcox Omega-3 Eggs at Costco. Locally fresh since 1909.
6:15 now. You know you've made it when you're invited to join the big parade. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
Inflatable versions of the viral monster plushies are part of the lineup at this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York.
La boo boo.
The dolls maker is calling it a Friendsgiving in Pop City. Pop Mart says it'll be the first time Labubu and their friends like Mokoko visit North America and travel the streets of Manhattan. The company is also cashing in with a holiday pop-up across the street from Macy's in Herald Square.
Okay, now is this a rare Labubu or is this a fairly common Labubu?
Variety, I think.
Okay, variety. Because Sully, I know you're always looking for a rare Labubu.
Only because I saw that South Park episode. Do I have any idea what?
Same.
I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
Or why it's a thing, but oh well.
But you at least know it from South Park.
Yeah, that's about the only reason why I would know that.
Okay.
So it's all that matters then.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, Katrina, thank you. 6:16 now.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, the new tolling rules on State Route 167 have been in effect for about 2 weeks. 167. Drivers tell us they're seeing a lot of cheating. What enforcement can you expect? Well, Sully is here with details.
And whether you can see them or not, state troopers are watching you and watching for violations. If you're new to the upgraded toll system, there is a flashing light when you go under the tolling equipment now. It flashes blue when charging a toll. It flashes white if you're declaring HOV. The Flex Pass on your windshield, you should all have one by now if you use 167, determines the color of the flash, HOV mode or toll mode.
The light will go off if you're in HOV status. And so when that light goes off...
The white light?
White light. And then, you can look and see, okay, there's only one person in that car.
State Trooper Rick Johnson says that flash is the first indication for troopers of what they need to do or don't do. Troopers also can look for the color of the pass. When you're in HOV mode, it's red. When it's toll, it's white. But those are very hard to spot at speed and especially in the dark. So you can still try to cheat the system. You can declare HOV and roll solo, but you do run the risk of a ticket. Trooper Johnson hopes that having standardized tolling equipment and the rules will help with compliance.
Now that there's going to be consistency throughout the tolling system, I think it's going to be easier for people to understand, and it'll be easier for us to enforce that because there's extra troopers out every day during the week in enforcing those, the toll lanes.
And they aren't just looking for HOV violations.
I understand the public says, well, we're not enforcing this. Well, we are. I mean, we're enforcing people that are jumping that double white line. And that's really a safety thing.
Jumping the double white line is one of the most dangerous things you can do in these tolled facilities. In a lot of cases, drivers pull out from a dead stop in the regular lanes and jump into those toll lanes right into the path of a car traveling much, much faster. It's really dangerous, so please don't do it. Now, I get it. You're tempted because you're not moving. That lane is. But the downside is massive. As for the HOV violators that are still rolling for free, Trooper Johnson says that is a sure way to invite problems from other drivers, even if you're not worried about a ticket.
One of the number one complaints that we get, HOV violators. And then on the flip side, we get people going, well, we pay taxes. We should be able to use any lane we want. It's not a safety violation. Correct, but it's an inciting violation. We have a lot of road rage that begins with somebody violating the HOV lane.
So you shouldn't have to think hard about the number one excuse given to troopers why your Flex Pass isn't in the right position. Oh, I forgot. It's not going to fly anymore. That's just not a legit excuse to them. You might have better luck putting a dummy in your front seat, but troopers are great at catching that. As we saw yesterday, someone had a full skeleton in their passenger seat. Great effort. A for effort on that one, but you are still going to get a ticket for that. And if you use a dummy, there's an increased amount that goes with your violation. So I have a really radical idea here.
Okay, I'm sitting down.
Please. How about we all just kind of follow the rules and pay our fair share?
What?
Isn't that a good idea? How about we just kind of all try to do the right thing? And you get troopers are out there, whether you think they are or not. I know you probably don't see them a lot during the morning commutes because they're responding to accidents generally during that time. But yeah, just pay the toll and please don't cross that double white line. It is so dangerous.
So a couple things. First of all, on 167, I drive it every day. I've noticed the past few mornings they've been uninstalling the old HOV price signs, and so those are starting to go away. As somebody who is a rule follower, this is good news to me when I see that they're enforcing this, and we've got the double white lines. I never use the HOV except in a very rare circumstance. So when are they going to start enforcing it on I-5?
The HOV lane?
Yeah, because that you don't need a tag there, and it is a free-for-all when I see people driving through.
And they do check that and they run HOV emphasis patrols. I mean, there are times, remember when our good friend G. Scott was hit for a momentary lapse of driving in the HOV lane?
Yeah.
They run those emphasis patrols all the time. But again, during the commutes, it's hard to catch people because a lot of them are responding to other things. And they do have money set aside for HOV violation enforcement. Another thing that a lot of people have complained to me about, and I've seen it too, something Holly, my wife, deals with every day, is the double white line coming into Seattle for the express lanes on northbound I-5. Remember, they painted that double white line a couple of years ago. People violate, especially truck drivers, go up at the very last minute and then jam their way in, which of course is incredibly dangerous.
I thought that was zipper merging.
No, not with a double white line. Not with a double white line, and with a sign that says no more getting into the HOV lane from here, or the express lane. So yeah, those are all big issues. Crossing a double white is a big no-no.
Yeah,
it's just super dangerous. You should have planned better. And yeah, it's one of the reasons, and Trooper Johnson told me this too, is like when we're driving on 405 in the section where there are multiple HOV or multiple express toll lanes, that he won't drive in the right lane of those. Neither will I, because of the fear of someone jumping that double white and getting in front of you. I always sit in that left-hand lane. And by the way, that is not left lane camping, by the way. There is no left lane camping rule in the express toll lanes. Whether you think there is or not, there isn't. It's a toll lane. It's an entirely different beast. It has nothing to do with the left lane camping law. But he admitted that he's a state trooper. He drives and does this for a living. He's even fearful of that maneuver, as am I. So just be careful out there.
Okay, so you have the whole article up on mynorthwest.com.
Yes, I do.
6:23 now. Let's check traffic on the threes. How are we shaping up this morning?
So far, so good. I mean, we're looking at volumes that are more than manageable. The heaviest spot is on 167 as we drive up past the Pacific area. Yeah, there we go. Through the Bridge Strike area. I mean, a 55-minute trip now from Puyallup to Renton is 15 minutes slower than you were used to before the Bridge Strike. But, I mean, that's our reality now until they take care of that. After that, we've got the S-curves being pretty active through Renton. We might have a crash there right after the Maple Valley Highway. I'll check into that. We got about a 22-minute trip to get you up to Bellevue. Once you're past Sunset, it's a clean drive the rest of the way. Federal Way to Seattle's about 43 minutes. There are some brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge. Olympia to Tacoma, under 40, closer to 35. Out of the north end, a little blurb in Marysville. Blurb, I don't even know what that is. Westbound on 2, we're seeing some slowing. And then a little bit away from Linwood, but 42 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue is a pretty good number. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Dry and cloudy today, high of 56. Tomorrow we start off dry, but by the early evening, just as trick-or-treaters are heading out the door, looks like we'll have some rain falling in the Seattle area. It'll be heavy at times later in the evening we go. On Saturday, we'll have showers in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon, and partly cloudy with a chance of showers on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 43. Coming up, we'll have KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the big Microsoft outage yesterday and the opening bell report.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I love this guy. Holy Sweet Smell Fabrizi.
Weekdays noon to 3.
Shut up. It's a real name. I swear to you. His last name's Fabrizi.
You like Febreze?
I don't like fake smells.
The problem that I have with it, now that I have babies, and babies are constantly like putting their face all over everything, you might as well just go spray your baby.
And you know how kids get on couches when they're little? Face first.
That's right.
They plant their face, use that as a pivot point.
Kids stink all the time. So if anybody could use Febreze, it'd be a kid because they smell so bad.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Get set for fall entertaining with incredible deals at Dania Furniture. The Fall Entertaining Sale features huge savings on select furniture and decor for every space, from dining and living rooms to guest spaces ready for overnight stays. Refresh your home today and make it holiday ready just in time for the gathering season ahead, but only for a limited time. Dania Furniture. We make it simple, you make it home. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Veterans Day is a moment where we express gratitude towards the folks who have served on our behalf, our veterans. And Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates veterans of all branches and their families on Veterans Day and every day of the year. They serve over 2 million veterans, and as a veteran, you can become a member and access exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools for the whole family. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Ultra, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Ultra helps Mike fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs so he can wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey, it's Brock Hewitt here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
You've been hearing me rave about my experiences with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Well, you won't believe what Integrity is doing in October. They're giving away a free roof to someone in need. That's right, a free roof. Do you know a deserving family who could benefit from a free roof? Then visit IntegrityRC.com, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone today. What an incredible opportunity to help someone upgrade and protect their home. Go to IntegrityRC.com now, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone in need. IntegrityRC.com, because doing the right thing matters.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good-to-Go account, you'll now receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. Microsoft's Azure Cloud Network is slowly recovering after a major outage yesterday morning. It knocked out access to major services like Office 365, Xbox Live, even causing check-in delays for Alaska Airlines. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with more on the fallout. Luke?
Yeah, maybe a lot of you listening felt this. I don't know. I mean, there are 100 million Xbox Live users around the world. M365 is used by more than 3.5 million companies. And then think about all the employees within those companies. Now, if you're watching on our YouTube feed right now, check this out. This was the spike of reported outages from Azure on Down Detector yesterday. It happened at 9 a.m. You can see we're fine, and then bam, look at that spike. And then it kind of, slowly recovers through the noon hour and the afternoon.
So that goes up to from 0 to, what is that, 20,130?
Yeah, and what that number is how many people have reported it. So Down Detector is a great tool that people use. Even tech companies look at Down Detector, quite frankly. And these are people who are reporting, hey, there's an outage, there's an outage. Yeah, that's significant right there for Down Detector. It knocked out the check-in system for passengers at Alaska Airlines. I mean, this was the second outage for Alaska Airlines in just the last week.
Don't know if I'm going to make my flight, so a little anxiety with that as well.
You have to bring your patience for sure. I've learned that over the last few years.
Yeah, bring your patience. They did yesterday. Microsoft says the outage was triggered by an inadvertent configuration change that impacted the Azure Front Door Delivery Network. Here's Ian Schur, a tech contributor for CBS.
So that suggests that they were going through some sort of a software update or changing some sort of feature, and that's what caused all of this to get broken.
So that front door network, let's talk about that a little bit. What is that? Well, it delivers web content really, really quickly, including using a network away from larger data centers to help deliver data on the edge as well. So think about that like this. There's data that you need to create a report, let's say, if you're at work, versus data on the edge that you need right now to tell a robot in a factory what to do. So to fix this issue, Microsoft basically put everything back together the way it was before. The company says the outage has now been resolved. Other companies impacted, though, Charlie. Major airport, London's Heathrow Airport, Costco was affected, and Starbucks as well. Starbucks is a great example of edge technology and the Internet of Things. You may not know this, but if you're getting a coffee this morning, take a look at that big coffee machine right there. They're making all those espresso drinks. That machine in every single store constantly communicates back to the mothership. It even tells them, hey, I've got part number XYZ that's going down. I need you to come out and fix that by next month or something like that. Constantly communicating, fascinating stuff. But one outage can cause so many things to go out.
You never even know it until it actually happens. Okay, Luke, thank you. It is 6:33. Disturbing surveillance video captured the moment two workers at an Edmonds spa were attacked in September. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao reports a suspect has a criminal record spanning 3 decades.
Police say the video shows 48-year-old Colin Boswell, dressed in black, barging into Eva Spa. He immediately starts attacking, shoving, and hitting one worker with his backpack, then pushes her into a room where another worker is. Then, the most terrifying moment, desperate cries for help as they try to escape. Outside cameras captured one victim running for her life before he tackled her to the ground. Property manager Daniel Mann says the other victim ran to his business.
Both victims are recovering. Suspect currently being held on $1 million bail at the Snohomish County Jail. Time to check traffic now. Every 10 minutes, we check in with Chris Sullivan. What's going on, Chris?
Well, we've got a crash on northbound 405 right there after the Maple Valley Highway 169. There, it's on the right-hand side of the road. Looks to be off to the shoulder almost entirely. You might have to get around it to kind of squeeze into the center lane a little bit. We're up to 30 minutes now to make the drive from Renton to Bellevue, so about a 10-minute delay through the area. I'm also checking to see if there might be a crash a little closer to 167. So already some action there in Renton. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, we've got about an hour drive from Puyallup to Renton, about 20 minutes slower than what we used to have before the bridge strike in Pacific, but something we've gotten used to lately. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 minutes, just kind of the off and on congestion stuff, nothing super terrible. And then coming down from the north end, definitely seeing some volumes building through Canyon Park and Mount Lake Terrace, about 45 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, about 42 from Everett to Seattle. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast calls for mostly cloudy skies today, highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow Tomorrow we start off cloudy, but by the time your trick-or-treaters head out the door, rain. High of 55 tomorrow. Showers on Saturday and Sunday, highs in the mid to upper 50s. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 47. Time now for the opening bell report. President Trump is on his way back to Washington, D.C. after the final event on his Asia trip, where he met with Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. More from the meeting in South Korea with CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
In their first face-to-face meeting since 2019, President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping greeted each other warmly as they met for much-anticipated trade talks.
It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine.
After imposing retaliatory tariffs for the last 6 months, Trump now says they have a deal that could be signed pretty soon.
We have a deal. Now, every year we'll renegotiate the deal, but I think the deal will go on for a long time.
It's now day 30 of the government shutdown. Still no signs that Democrats or Republicans are willing to budge. The ongoing stalemate over whether to extend health care subsidies or simply open the government first comes as millions of American workers continue to go without pay. Here's Jared Hill with the latest on the back and forth.
Emotions flaring on the Senate floor.
This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about.
Nearly a month into the government shutdown.
People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. You voted no 13 times.
When you hold power, when you're in the majority, you meet people. You pull them in.
Republicans and Democrats sparring over a Dem push to fund nutrition programs like WIC and SNAP, after the Department of Agriculture said it would not reach into a contingency fund to extend the benefits.
Even though the benchmark interest rate dropped by 0.25 percentage point yesterday, investors are still wary after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said another rate deduction this year isn't a foregone conclusion. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady reports.
It's not that Chair Jerome Powell said, hey, we're out of the woods when it comes to inflation, but it's really the fact that they're seeing that concerning weakness in the labor market. He was actually asked at one point about all the layoffs that we've seen this week and the past few weeks at Amazon, UPS, Target, and he said, quote, they're watching it very, very carefully.
Rideshare drivers rallied in Belltown yesterday protesting the arrival of self-driving cars from Waymo. Members of the Washington Drivers Union say the autonomous vehicles threaten thousands of jobs and raise serious safety concerns. This driver spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
We have a lot of concern on Waymo. Number one is a job issue. We need our people to have a food for their family. The Waymo is not going to provide food to the family that is their job is taken away.
In a statement, Waymo says it has a proven track record of making transportation safer, more accessible, and more sustainable in cities we operate. Workers will pay slightly more next year to fund Washington's paid family and medical leave program. Starting January 1st, the premium rate will rise to 0.113%. That's up from 0.95%. Workers and their employers pay for the program. So far this year, more than 218,000 people claim their paid leave benefits, totaling more than $175 billion. A new AARP survey shows family caregivers in Washington state are struggling financially. The Washington State Standard says nearly half have faced setbacks because of caregiving duties. Many have drained savings, delayed retirement, or taken on debt. 1 in 5 say they can't afford basic expenses. The state has 1.3 million caregivers, most of them unpaid, and many also work full-time jobs. Experts warn the challenge will grow as Washington's population ages. Taking a look at Wall Street right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 71 points. S&P 500 is off by 52. And the NASDAQ has dropped 318 points. That's 1.3%. It's 6:39. Chris, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the crash in Renton that is causing the ruckus there on 405. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
A 55-yard interception return by Easley.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 45, Kenny Easley, as pure an athlete as has ever played that free safety position. Saw him the very first day at training camp after his first-round draft choice. All of us veterans looked at each other and said, we've got something here, and we sure did.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 Cars for Kids.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
6:43 now. We head over to Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we are still enjoying a pretty decent drive on this Thursday morning. There are very heavy brake lights, though, on 405 right at the beginning of the Renton S-curves, basically from 167 all the way up past the Maple Valley Highway. That's where this crash is, in the right-hand lane or right-hand side, depending on what they're doing with it at the moment. Either way, we're up over 30 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, so behind schedule by about 5 to 8 minutes. Also getting reports there might be a crash on northbound 167 right before the ramp to northbound 405 to explain why we've gotten so slow there at the north end part of that corridor, plus the normal stuff in Auburn. It's 30 minutes from Auburn to Renton. That's about a 10-minute delay there. Plus, you have another 10 or 15 trying to get into Pacific. It's about an hour and 10 total from Puyallup to Renton. So big-time delays up the Valley Freeway. Northbound I-5 looking really good from Olympia to Tacoma. Some brake lights up the Fife Hill. A little bit in Federal Way, a little bit more off and on past the West Seattle Bridge. You're going to need about an hour now, 55 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Coming down from the north end, about 50 minutes from Everett to the Bellevue area. Starting to see a little bit more action down through Bothell. For I-5, it's about 45 minutes. Westbound across the Trestle, definitely seeing some heavy brake lights on the east end there, where 204 and 2 kind of merge in together. I'm looking to see if there might be a crash there. Haven't found anything particularly there of note. And we do have a crash on Cathcart Way right there at Highway 9. For those of you making your way east of, say, the Glacier Peak High School area, trying to make your way down to Highway 9. Plan on just a little bit of a delay there, but I wanted you to be aware of it. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Forecast, it looks pretty dry today. Highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, Halloween, we are expecting rain by early evening throughout most of western Washington. So just be prepared if you're sending out some trick-or-treaters. Over the weekend, showers throughout Saturday and into Sunday. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy, 47. Well, 96-year-old great-grandma meets her newborn great-grandson, and her reaction to his name is going viral. Here's Katrina to explain.
Let's just say she did not hold back. Listen to this.
Why are you calling him Dak?
That's just the name we picked. We liked it.
You got crazy parents, so it's gonna be a wild run. It should be easy for you to spell.
And mind you, this roast went on for about 20 minutes. As a firefighter, Caden Wilson says he thought he'd seen every kind of flame, but when great-grandma heard his son's name, it unleashed a whole new level of burn.
What's the name again?
Dax.
Dax. Okay.
D-A-X?
Yes,
Okay.
D-A-X.
Oh, like that Dax Shepard guy. I know the name.
him.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dax.
I don't know who that is, but good. I thought she said Dak, like Prescott.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. 6:46 now. Quick word here. The Seattle Seahawks season approaching the halfway point, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game November 9th. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, you just need to text app to 888-973-5476. We will send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. Coming up, CBS's Lilia Luciano with a feature on the drop in alcohol drinking in the United States.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please.
Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours.
Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours.
Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Good morning at 6:50. As a percentage of the population, fewer people are drinking than ever before, and more businesses and organizations are serving up alternatives. Here's CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano with our story.
It's 10 o'clock in Miami, and the party is raging.
Not 10 o'clock at night, 10 in the morning. And there's not a drop of alcohol to be found.
Daybreaker is a sober community, first and foremost. So you don't come in, there's no psychedelics.
Radha Agrawal is the host of this party, one of almost 1,000 Daybreaker events held in more than 60 cities since 2013. It's an appealing idea, with Americans now drinking less than ever before. Only half of young adults say they drink alcohol, down from more than 70% 4 decades ago.
I'm sick and tired of going out on a Friday night, waking up Saturday being hungover.
I think people are waking up to all these longevity and health and wellness practices, that we have to take care of what we're putting inside our bodies.
Sober curious doesn't mean quitting alcohol. It means cutting back.
Like maybe you have one alcohol beer and then you have a non-alcoholic beer and then like you call it a day.
I heard it's called zebra striping.
Zebra striping, yes.
Tani Lara wrote the book on dating sober. She now runs Parentheses, a Brooklyn-based non-alcoholic spirit company.
Even 5-10 years ago, you tell a friend, I'm taking a break from alcohol right now, that could raise some concern. Where now it's very common. It's like, it's almost social.
Spirited Away opened in New York City in 2020 as America's first booze-free bottle shop. The shelves are stocked with zero-proof wines, beers, and spirits. Alex Highsmith is the co-founder.
Who are your customers?
Yeah, all generations, all ages, all persuasions, all genders. It's the same people that drink alcohol want to drink non-alcoholic stuff. They're just looking to moderate.
The global market for non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits hit nearly $20 billion in 2023, double what it was just 4 years earlier. Even big alcohol is getting in on the act, investing in alcohol-free alternatives like Tanqueray's Zero Proof Gin and Diageo's Guinness Zero Proof Stout.
I saw so much potential for events where people want to gather without sort of having the pressure or even presence of alcohol.
We are saying at our events and through the culture that we're building to break the codependence.
You don't need the drink in your hand.
You don't need a drink in your hand to have a good time.
Yeah. For millions of Americans, the sober curious wave isn't about giving something up. It's about gaining something back. Quality of life, and maybe even a few more years of living it. For Eye on America, I'm Lilia Luciano in Miami, Florida.
So drinking less, especially I do notice that about young people. Like, oh yeah, David, you're the resident youngster.
For now, I'm almost 30. Yeah,
you see a lot of your friends drinking less, and maybe some of your older siblings.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of messaging in the last 10 or so years about just what alcohol does to you and problematic drinking. So I think people have been, for a while now, kind of reconsidering their relationship with alcohol. And now that there's so many of these alternatives, people are jumping at the opportunity to continue to kind of be social, drink socially, but you don't have to have a soda or something sugar-filled. You can have something that's non-alcoholic, but still kind of feels like you're a part of the party a little bit.
Well, the culture changes. So, okay. It is 6:53. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
Well, I'll do what I can to single-handedly keep the alcohol business alive. But, I'll try. But, yeah, I did notice that in Tommy's generation, especially through high school. Yeah. I mean, that was a thing we did back in the day, and now that they didn't. And, there's definitely their friends aren't.
That's a net positive.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want you to start when I did. Different time in the 80s. Looking at the northbound northbound 167 corridor being the worst by far. This crash we have by the Maple Valley Highway is still causing some issues. It's over on the right-hand side. 30 minutes to make it from Renton on up into Bellevue. Once you're past SR 900, it's pretty good. Haven't found the crash on northbound 167 that I've been looking for. It's right there inside of 180th, right there before you get to the 405 interchange, and it's one of the reasons why we're well over 30 minutes now from Auburn to Renton, and an hour and 10 all the way from Puyallup. Definitely have about a 20-minute delay up the valley today. Looking at 512, there's a little bit of slowing westbound as you make your way over past Waller Road. Checking into that, and there also might be a crash on southbound 5 just away from 512 that is causing some slowing on the west end there. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50 minutes. 50 to 55 is what you need from Everett to Bellevue as the Canyon Park through Bothell is really turned all red, and we've got about 48 minutes from Everett for it down into Seattle. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're looking for a high in the mid-50s today. Dry. We start to get rain by early tomorrow evening, maybe even late afternoon. Just in time to impact your trick-or-treating plans. Right now in Seattle is 47. Coming up, CBS News with the latest world and national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees in transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, they're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The U.S. Treasury Secretary says it's a done deal. China's agreed to purchase 25 million metric tons of American soybeans a year as part of an agreement President Trump reached with Xi Jinping yesterday. The president says the Chinese leader also agreed to export more rare earth minerals in exchange for lower U.S. tariffs. Mr. Trump also directed a resumption of nuclear testing. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
The president said in a social media post that he wants to resume those tests on a, quote, equal basis with Russia and China. It would be a major shift since the U.S. hasn't carried out such tests since the early 1990s. The president offered no details about the timing of the specific tests by other countries he was referring to.
Hamas armed wing announced this morning it would hand over the bodies of 2 more hostages this hour, as per terms of the U.S. brokered ceasefire in Gaza. So far, the remains of 15 of 28 bodies have been returned to Israel. They're just beginning to assess the damage in the Northern Caribbean after Hurricane Melissa devastated several islands. CBS's Jason Allen is in Kingston, Jamaica.
This morning, the people of Jamaica are picking up the pieces after Hurricane Melissa, as nearly 80% of the island nation still doesn't have power.
Roof has gone, clothes has wet up. I need some help. Please, I need some help.
Melissa, now a Category 2 storm swirling in the Atlantic. CBS meteorologist Rob Marciano.
Now it's pulling out of the Bahamas. Thankfully, it's in the open ocean for now, but it's going to be making a run up Bermuda. It's about 680 miles from there, and it's accelerating to the northeast now at about 21 miles per hour. And by later on tonight, it'll be just to the west of Bermuda.
A shakeup in the prosecution of a man who got a January 6th pardon. CBS's Steve Kathan.
2 federal prosecutors have been told they will be placed on leave after requesting a 27-month prison sentence for a man granted clemency for the Capitol attack and who later turned up armed near the house of former President Obama. Those prosecutors said Taylor Taranto had been among the, quote, mob of rioters. That's now been removed from shorter, refiled sentencing papers. 2 different prosecutors are now listed on the filing.
Prosecutors in Paris say they've arrested 5 more suspects in the crown jewel heist at the Louvre Museum. That makes a total of 7 in custody. Christopher Marinello at Art Recovery International.
This is phenomenal police work on behalf of the French authorities. The only question is whether they have caught these people in time.
Still no sign of those jewels. The Dow is up 202 points in early trading. Nas off 148. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's 7:03. Time to check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we're starting this hour with a new crash on northbound I-5 in South Center, SeaTac, right there, right around 188th. I'm not sure which lane is blocked, but it looks kind of be to the center left. HOV lanes appears to still be moving, but either way, we backed up really quickly as you're coming up out of the Kent-Des Moines Road area. Plan on an hour plus now from Federal Way to Seattle, with over 30 of those minutes from into South Center, and that one's growing again. It's super fresh. Looking at the Valley Freeway down to the east of that, we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip. It's been very heavy getting into the 405 corridor. It's 30 minutes alone just from Auburn, and then Auburn to Renton about a half an hour. It looks like we finally cleared all of the cars from this crash we had right near the Maple Valley Highway. Coming down from the north end, 405 definitely worse than I-5 at this point. Bumper to bumper out of Canyon Park through Bothell, nothing out of line, but about a 52-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, about 45 to 48 from Everett to Seattle. Brake lights there are just kind of annoyingly congested, just kind of below speed limit and not really getting you going. Olympia to Tacoma's nice and easy, though. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It's been voted best in the Northwest. To celebrate, you can save 25% off new windows through October. Defer payment for the next 12 months. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good Thursday morning. It's 7:04. I'm Charlie Harger. Election Day just 4 days away, and Washington's top election official is sounding the alarm. Secretary of State is urging voters not to mail their ballots, warning new postal delays could mean some votes don't get counted. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with more. Luke?
Yeah, and Charlie, we're already seeing that this issue has already affected voters in parts of our state. Recent operational changes at the U.S. Postal Service is now affecting how quickly all of our letters and packages and our mail-in ballots are being stamped and postmarked. Haley Watkins with King County Elections told me they saw this impact during the August primary. A lot of ballots in rural areas did not get counted.
I know several other counties did see a big jump in how many ballots were returned too late because they didn't get that on-time postmark.
Oh, yesterday, Secretary of State Steve Hobbs sent us a statement urging voters to use a drop box instead of the Postal Service from here until Election Day. Elections officials tell me even if you physically hand a letter or a ballot to someone at the post office, there's still no guarantee of a postmark that day.
Folks at this point should really go ahead and use that drop box. If they want to mail it, physically walk it into a post office and ask somebody at the counter to stamp it for you, because you are not guaranteed a postmark on the same day that you drop your ballot in the mail.
So, Charlie, this is going to really affect people more in rural areas because the Postal Service has been planning to end afternoon mail pickups for the most part at post offices far away from regional hubs. Those regional hubs, where are they? Well, closer to cities. It's all about cutting costs for the Postal Service. This is nothing political. They're projecting a $6.9 billion loss for this current fiscal year. So where is your nearest drop box? It's what you're asking. You should be asking yourself right now. We've got you covered. There's a link to the master list of ballot boxes on mynorthwest.com. Just look for my story on the page. The link is in that story.
And Luke, just a quick note here. I live on the Pierce-King County border, and what I discovered a couple of years ago, and I confirmed this with the elections office, the drop box is closer for me to go to King County, even though I live in Pierce County. You are able to drop your ballot in another county's drop box, and they will sort them out.
That's a great point, Charlie. Yes. But the message, just go to the drop box.
Go to the drop box, exactly.
Totally.
All right. Thank you, Luke. It's 7:06 now. Voters in Seattle decide on Tuesday if they will get a new mayor or keep the one they have. Homelessness is one of the big issues in the race. Challenger Katie Wilson spoke to KIRO Newsradio's John Curley recently.
I think that we just need to do a better job of, getting people into shelter and housing.
Her policies to put unsheltered homeless people in our affordable housing units and take money from our housing levy to do that, to me, is just bad policy.
The incumbent Mayor Bruce Harrell tells the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM that despite trailing Wilson by about 5 points in recent polls, he thinks he's going to win. A new poll shows the King County executive race is neck and neck. The Seattle Times says Claudia Balducci and Gurmai Zahalai are just 2 points separated in the Northwest Progressive Institute poll. 37% back Balducci, 35% support Zahalai. Nearly a third of voters remain undecided. This poll suggests this could come down to late ballots. Election day is Tuesday. Ballots need to be postmarked by 8 in the evening.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing?
They're kind of out of style.
Good morning. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. That is Chris Sullivan over there. You never go wrong with Billy Joel, right? It's hard to go wrong. All right. Thank you.
I agree.
We also have producer David Burbank in the studio. Manda Factor has a day off. Katrina Gishard is out at the news desk, and Nick Krasha is picking the music this morning and running the board. Pretty dry today. It's likely going to be wet just in time for trick-or-treating, so be prepared for that. And baby Gemma, do we still call her baby Gemma? Is she...
I mean, she's
toddler?
almost 10 months now. So, yeah. I mean, she's definitely still a baby, and we're going to keep calling her that.
Okay.
For a while, I think. That's what my wife is saying. She doesn't want her to grow up.
Okay. There you go.
And she's
got a costume?
She is a tomato.
Okay.
And then my wife and I are gardeners, which is pretty easy. We just wear some overalls.
Mm-hmm. So cute.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, be ready for some rain tomorrow if you do go out trick-or-treating. Coming up on this hour of the show, President Trump is heading home after his tour through Asia. He just had a summit between him and Chinese leader Xi Jinping. What has he decided about trade between the U.S. and China? China. We'll speak with News Nation correspondent Libby Dean coming up. And in today's commentary, why we need to start paying attention to the one company with a monopoly on AI technology. 7:09 now here on Seattle's Morning News. The fight over President Trump's National Guard plan for Portland is back in court. This is the district court trial, separate from the Ninth Circuit's en banc review we told you about yesterday. Testimony began yesterday with a Portland police commander. He described federal agents firing tear gas at peaceful protesters near an ICE building. City and state attorneys argue Trump's plan violates limits on using the military. Federal lawyers say the president acted because protests threatened federal property and personnel. The judge already issued restraining orders, but appeals have kept the case alive. The trial could wrap up by Friday. A pop-up emergency food distribution center is snarled roadways around the Tacoma Dome yesterday. Hundreds of families made their way there for free food assistance. And KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch reports from the scene.
Many of the families seeking help are already on food assistance programs. Others have never found themselves in need until now. Food prices are high. SNAP and other food assistance programs end at the beginning of next month due to the government shutdown. Parents like Ernestine Wiggins are worried. This don't make no sense. Everything is going to be out of control next month, and I hate to see it. The event is sponsored by Eloise's Food Bank. They expect to help 20,000 more families than they did last month. In Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
In Seattle, a local bagel shop is stepping up to fight hunger during the shutdown. Toasted, it has locations in South Lake Union, Bellevue, and the U District, launched what they call the Neighbor Fund. The co-owners of the business tell KIRO 7 TV they want to help people who are losing those benefits by providing a free meal.
Could be the only meal someone has that day, and I'm glad that it's at Toasted, and hopefully we can think of more ways that we can have a second and third meal for them.
They say $15,000 has already been raised, enough to serve more than 2,600 free meals. There's a call for Washington State to use its greenhouse gas fighting law to help fight fires. Here's KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch.
After the deadly Labor Day weekend wildfires of 2020, the state legislature passed a bill to spend $500 million over 8 years to fight and prevent wildfires. But facing a budget deficit, legislators cut this year's allotment in half. The original bill sponsor wants it fully funded next time around, adding,
Climate Commitment Act dollars are going to be on the table.
Representative Larry Springer says it makes sense.
The carbon that's thrown into the air by a wildfire is astronomical.
Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
7:12 now. Let's get a check on the forecast. We're joined by Nick Allard from KIRO 7 TV. This report brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. We have some wet stuff on the way for trick-or-treat evening, huh, Nick?
We sure do. We made it a pinpoint alert for tomorrow evening, and the reason for it is it's not that this is the strongest system we've seen or anywhere even really close for that matter, but just the impact will be quite large on anybody going out tomorrow night to trick-or-treat. So what we have this morning is some patchy fog and chilly conditions. You have a little sun that'll poke through, and then clouds will increase this afternoon for a mostly cloudy but dry day in the 50s. No problems there. Tomorrow starting dry, but then clouds increase as the day goes on, and you will see kind of a blustery afternoon. You'll even feel a little bit of wind today in the Cascade foothills. But after about 5, 6 o'clock, and maybe even a little earlier, but rain will start to pick up. And so it's lighter at first, then it just gets heavier. And as the night goes on, the later you go, the more intense the rain will be, and it's just, moderate rainfall into the overnight hours, getting heavier into early Saturday, then tapering off and turning to showers. But then it's also going to be windy. It'll be breezy with the system and then windy behind it as we turn to showers. So yeah, you can count on some rain for anybody trick-or-treating. You can count on it being breezy, and then it's windy and wet Saturday, turning to showers. We set our clocks back into Sunday, and you still have a couple of showers hanging around in the 50s. But yeah, I think because of impact is the main reason why we made it an alert. Not that it's the strongest system we've even had recently, but everybody will be outside, so I want to make sure you're ready for it.
All right, there will be a run on ponchos today.
Well, again, just dress up as that. I mean, isn't there some? Can't you just be a poncho?
Yeah, everybody can be a poncho if they really
make it
try.
Like a metaphor for my career, maybe.
Right now in Seattle, it's 44 and cloudy. 7:14. Let's check in with Sully for traffic.
And we got a big problem on northbound I-5 for those of you trying to make it from Federal Way up into South Center. This crash we have just after 188 now is blocking multiple lanes. Only the HOV lane and the left general purpose surface lane are getting by, and we've jumped up to about a 4-mile backup and growing, and there's a lot more emergency response still showing up. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from Everett to Seattle. 45 of those minutes are just to South Center, so that is a 20-minute delay. So plan on big issues there. And again, this continues to develop. This crash just happened 15 minutes ago. Northbound 167, we're seeing the brake lights in Auburn. Not as bad in Pacific, but you're still going to need an hour. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 35 minutes. Coming down from the north end, hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Brake lights away from the Linwood area are about average. The lake bridges are still good. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
7:15 now. Some parents are joining college Facebook groups and tracking every move their kids make on campus. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
In these Facebook groups, parents are complaining about professors not emailing them back and asking where they can access their kids' grades. Some are even asking for cell phone numbers of parents to open a line of communication. This college mom jumped on TikTok to shame some of the other parents who she thinks have gone too far.
What parents don't seem to realize is that when your child turns 18, you have no legal right over them anymore. Also, can you imagine if the professors had to add answering parents' emails to their list of duties? I cannot.
Critics are arguing this is a new breed of helicopter parenting that's dividing moms and dads.
You know, over the years, I was a part-time college instructor for more than 20 years. And over the years, I would get the occasional parent who would write in, and I'm like, I can't tell you anything. That's actually against the law. So, yeah.
This is where
Not
we're at.
shocking that this generation of parents, you two excluded, grew out of that this is completely predictable.
Yeah.
That they're so hands-on and not letting go, and just, my kid is my purse. And it's an accessory of me. Come on.
I don't think my parents ever even asked me about my college classes. Like, how are things going? They did not care one bit. You know, I was my own adult by then.
And as the gateway drugs stop using the GPS on your kid's phone after college, even if you're paying the bill. I mean, I get it. You're scared. You're not the first kid to go away from home. Come on, parents, do better.
All right, we'll do better.
Man,
I said you're excluded. You guys do.
Yeah.
You guys. Okay. I hope your kids don't have
we're
cell phones yet.
learning from this.
No, absolutely not, Sully.
You're way too young for that, right?
Way too young.
Thanks, Katrina. 7:17 now.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Thanks for joining us this Thursday morning. I'm Charlie Harger. The president is on his way back to the U.S. this morning after a landmark meeting in South Korea with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. President Trump came away from the meeting saying that him and his Chinese counterpart have agreed on, in his words, almost everything. Let's get the details from News Nation correspondent Libby Dean, who's been following the president's progress throughout Asia this week. Good morning, Libby. Bring us up to speed. What got accomplished in this meeting between Xi and President Trump?
Hey, good morning. Well, Trump says they didn't talk about everything, but we do know they talked about a lot of topics for the two leaders to hit heading into this. And it was mainly what we were expecting, whether that was fentanyl restrictions and making sure we don't see those ingredients being imported from China or exported from China into the U.S., or the increased purchases by China of U.S. farm goods. Soybeans, of course, top of mind there. Of course, rare earth mineral exports also top of mind, even talking about the war between Russia and Ukraine. So a lot of topics hit, and the president saying the U.S. and China have struck a deal. We're still waiting to learn specific details within that deal, but the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who just did an interview, does say that that China does plan to purchase 12 million metric tons of soybeans between now and January. So that is a big development heading out of this meeting right now. President Trump is on Air Force One, headed back here to the White House after this whirlwind 6-day trip. He even said, I mean, the meeting going so well, he even said he wants to meet face-to-face again with President Xi in China in April of next year.
Okay, well, that would be a development. And so many soybean farmers here in Washington State and, of course, throughout the country are relieved to hear this news. Is it too early to know how this is going to affect? Let's say we have the holiday season just around the corner here. People are starting to buy Christmas gifts, and so many of them come from Chinese manufacturers. Any indication, Libby, where things stand in terms of those tariffs and how expensive things might be?
Well, I think things are still obviously in the early stages here on finalizing a deal. This face-to-face was definitely the first step of making sure we don't see an increase in those tariffs. At one point, you'll remember President Trump even threatened around a 245% tariff on China. So this is certainly an improvement. And what he said on Air Force One when he was headed back here to the White House after that meeting with Xi is that he's now decided to lower tariffs from 57% to 47%. That's the percentage he gave, and that's going to have a major impact on those goods that you're talking about that Americans buy from China. And it's going to have a worldwide impact on exports between the two countries as a whole.
And you mentioned rare earth, and I think maybe not enough people are familiar with why this is a big deal. This isn't just like dirt in the ground. What is important about this, and why we need to be trading it?
Well, yeah, and it also impacts stocks. Rare earth stocks is something that is really important, and it's this reprieve that we're seeing from China, where they're saying that over the next year they're going to stop putting those rare earth export, those problems with the rare earth exports. What they're doing there in this statement that they release is that they're going to suspend those export controls on U.S. goods for a year, and that all relates back to those rare earth minerals. So that was certainly something we were watching heading into this meeting as well.
And just big picture here, we saw a lot of Asian leaders meet with the president, and a lot of them gave him, items with a lot of gold in it. Why is it important for those countries to have such a good relationship with the president, not only on a diplomatic level, but a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a personal apply to get on President Trump's good side for these gifts to be given to him. And you saw him smiling, receiving those gifts throughout these trips, whether that was the replica crown or just even the meeting of the new Japanese prime minister, where you saw President Trump all smiles. And he even said himself, the pictures speak for themselves on how well that meeting went. So this is a good way for these leaders to get on President Trump's good side as he made this whirlwind 6-day trip. And not only is it just good to get on his good side, a lot of these leaders were trying to negotiate deals when it came to tariffs because they've seen a lot of their countries threatened with these tariffs, whether that was the first leg of the trip where President Trump met with leaders from Malaysia, Thailand, and Cambodia, signed off on that peace deal. They wanted to negotiate those tariffs lower. That's something that they got. And then, of course, the highlight of the trip with China, where we saw it all play out of him lowering the tariffs on them. So not only did they make these gifts that they gave the president, but they also were trying to get on his good side overall to make sure that these meetings went well so they ultimately get a good deal for their country.
All right. News Nation's Libby Dean joining us live. Libby, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
7:23, we check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, we got a big problem on northbound I-5 with about an 8-mile backup now on northbound I-5 from basically 320th and Federal Way all the way to 188th in the SeaTac area. This crash that for a while was blocking up to 3 lanes now appears to just be blocking the right lane or the right shoulder, but the damage is done. We jumped from Federal Way to South Center to an hour. That's a 40-minute delay. And an hour and 40 now all the way into Seattle. And even though they may have cleared some of the lanes, it's going to take really, once you get a backup like that, it's going to take a long time to clear out. But an hour and 40 is the latest number from Federal Way into Seattle. If you wanted to jump down to the Valley Freeway, it's not terrible out of Auburn. It's back down to about 27 minutes out of Auburn and about an hour all the way from the Puyallup area. Rented to Bellevue, 35 minutes, kind of a normal day for you guys. Lake bridges are okay, though there is some eastbound slowing on I-99 now approaching 405. Out of the north end, we're into a typical Thursday. We've got hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Most of that is away from Linwood. Some I-5 slowing now south of Northgate, working your way down through the U District, but that hasn't entirely filled in just yet. Olympia to Tacoma is not too bad. We do have some slowing on eastbound 18 over Tiger Mountain, but it's manageable. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It's been voted the best in the Northwest, and to celebrate, you can save 25% off new windows through October and defer payment for the next 12 months. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
47 and cloudy in Seattle right now, headed for a high of 54 with clouds today. We have showers on the way tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. It could be heavy at times, just in time to head out trick-or-treating. Right now, we have clouds and 47. It's 7:24, and coming up, we have KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the big Microsoft outage, and in the 7:35 commentary, a look at the first company ever to reach $5 trillion of worth, and why we should all be watching the progress of NVIDIA closely. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 54, Bobby Wagner, linebacker, one of the finest of his generation. He set just about every tackling record that can be set. He was the heart and soul of one of the best defenses to ever play in the National Football League.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. It's 7:31. Microsoft's Azure Cloud Network is bouncing back after a major outage rippled across the country yesterday morning. The outage disrupted Office 365, Xbox Live, even grounded the check-in systems for Alaska Airlines. And joining us live is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with the latest.
Yeah, so check this out. If you're watching on the YouTube feed, and I think we're going to have this in just a second, this was a spike. You'll see it, this big, huge red spike of reported outages from down detectors. So what this reflects is how many people, users out there, are saying, oh, there's something happening, and they report it, and it goes on. Tech companies look at this as well. This happened at 9 a.m. Pacific time yesterday. You can see that huge spike right there. There are 100 million Xbox Live users out there in the world. M365 is used by more than 3.5 million companies worldwide. Poor Alaska Airlines, the passengers at SeaTac. This was the second outage they've had in just the last week for that airline.
Don't know if I'm going to make my flight, so a little anxiety with that as well.
You have to bring your patience for sure. I've learned that over the last few years.
Yeah, Microsoft says the outage was triggered by an inadvertent configuration change that impacted the Azure Front Door Delivery Network. That network is kind of like a gateway to data back and forth. It delivers basically web content and app content very, very quickly. I think that's the easiest way to say what it does. Here's Ian Schur, a tech contributor for CBS News.
So that suggests that they were going through some sort of a software update or changing some sort of feature, and that's what caused all of this to get broken.
And to fix the issue, then Microsoft basically put everything back together the way it was before. The company says the outage has now been resolved, but other companies impacted. London's Heathrow Airport, that's a major hub globally. Costco, Starbucks, their websites, the Starbucks app was not working. People couldn't order their coffees on their app. And for all of you gamers out there, Obsidian Entertainment, they make the popular game Outer Worlds 2. So all the gamers in the world were like, what is going on with Xbox Live? It's back up and running now, but what an impact.
Oh, man, when my Outer Worlds 2 is impacted, that's when I know it's serious.
I didn't know if it was that or your Starbucks app, whichever, Charlie's World here.
Okay, thank you, Luke. Bremerton police say the 36-year-old man is now behind bars, accused of breaking into a ferry terminal. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon.
Police say he smashed windows on 2 vessels with a fire extinguisher on Monday, October 20th, before setting those boats adrift. They say he went to a nearby bar and stole a bottle of alcohol before breaking into a few cars as well. Officers say the damage is around $2,600.
It's 7:33, and we head over to the traffic desk with Sully.
And we are working with a very difficult drive now on I-5 northbound from Federal Way into South Center. Because of this crash that has cleared right near 188th and SeaTac, we've created a really bad day. We've got about an hour and 40-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. An hour alone just into South Center, but I'm starting to see some gaps popping up in this now that the crash is cleared, so hopefully the travel time will come down. But right now it's plus 40 on that corridor, which is not good. Looking at northbound I-5 a little bit further to the south of that, up the Fife Hill to 18, just seeing some very heavy volume there. Plan on a couple of extra minutes there. That would push us about closer probably to about 2 hours now from Tacoma to Federal Way. Looking at the Valley Freeway, well over an hour now from Puyallup to Renton, heavy through Pacific, and a lot of people have bailed now and gone down to the Valley, and we're back up over 30 minutes out of Auburn, so at least a 15-minute delay coming up the Valley today. Renton to Bellevue is about 35 minutes. 18 over Tiger Mountain is really starting to bog down in the eastbound direction, and we're well over an hour and 10 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Not a lot of joy out of Snohomish County. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org. And for our weather forecast today, well, it's not going to get too much warmer than it is right now, and we aren't going to see a lot of sun. It should be reasonably dry the rest of the day. We're expecting a high to top out around maybe 55 degrees, maybe a little bit under that, depending on where you are. Tomorrow, the big deal is, when are we going to hit the rain for Halloween? Right now, it's trending to early to late evening. Maybe you'll get pushed a little bit, but we'll see. Right now, outside our studios, we have 44 degrees.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
7:35 now, time for this morning's commentary. NVIDIA just became the first company in history worth $5 trillion. $5 trillion. That's more than the GDP of Japan, more than the entire economy of the United Kingdom. One company making computer chips that power artificial intelligence is now worth more than nations that have existed for centuries. So let's give credit where it's due. NVIDIA didn't stumble into this. They saw the AI revolution coming and built the shovels for the gold rush. Just about every ChatGPT query, every AI image generator, every machine learning model runs on their hardware. They bet everything on a future where computers would need to think, and they were right. Wall Street is throwing a party. The stock split, the record's broken. The analysts upgrading their price targets. $5 trillion. American innovation at its finest. Meanwhile, Amazon announced 14,000 job cuts this week, many right here in our backyard. 14,000 people wondering if their jobs are next. And those are just the ones we know about. More cuts are coming because of AI. You see the disconnect, right? We're celebrating the company that builds the AI hardware, while the people whose jobs that AI will replace are updating their resumes. We built the machines that think, and we're cheering the stock price while they learn to do our jobs. We used to think that automation would take factory jobs and leave the office workers alone. Wrong. AI is coming for the spreadsheet jockeys, the middle managers, the analysts, the writers. If your job involves sitting at a computer and thinking, well, computers can think now, and they don't need health insurance. I'm not anti-profit. I'm not even anti-NVIDIA. They took risks. They innovated. They deserve rewards. But when one company controls all the computer chips that make AI work, we should probably pay attention. It's like one company owning all the railroads during the Industrial Revolution, or all the oil wells, or all the phone lines. Oh, wait, we've done that. We've been here before. Remember when Boeing was Seattle's crown jewel, when Microsoft could do no wrong? Concentration of power feels great when the stock is rising. It feels different when that single point of failure actually fails. We keep hearing AI will make life easier, more productive, more efficient, and so far, it's mostly made a handful of people beyond wealthy while everyone else worries about their mortgage. NVIDIA's CEO is worth over $100 billion. The software engineer in Redmond is wondering if AI can code better than she can. The customer service rep in Bellevue knows it can already do his job. I've been a tech worker. Many of my friends are in the tech industry. Tech workers with families, mortgages, kids in schools. They're watching NVIDIA's valuation climb and their own job security crumble. They're not celebrating the $5 trillion. They're wondering what happens when the AI they helped build doesn't need them anymore. This is almost perfect irony, right? We created machines that can think so we wouldn't have to work as hard. Now those machines are making a handful of people unimaginably rich while the rest of us work harder just to stay relevant. We built thinking machines to solve our problems. Instead, they're solving us right out of our jobs. $5 trillion says this is just the beginning, and 14,000 pink slips agree. That's a commentary for October 30th, 2025. You can always text us, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the northbound I-5 drive from Federal Way up through South Center. Big issues there. We'll break it down for you next.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Metropolitan Markets, PCC, or Safeway. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades. And then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
7:43 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
We picked up 10 minutes, but we are still in rough shape on northbound I-5, trying to make it from Federal Way to South Center. This crash that right there at 188th for a while had most of the freeway blocked, and now it's just the right shoulder, but we're looking at about a 7-mile backup and a 30-minute delay. It's an hour and a half now from Federal Way to Seattle. 50 minutes alone just to get you up into South Center. So that drive is pretty much wrecked for the next little bit. Also seeing heavy brake lights now on northbound I-5 getting up to Highway 18. A lot of people, I think, are heading into that right lane and bogging things down, trying to get down to the valley, as we're seeing that as our primary diversion. It's an hour and 10-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton. That's about 20 minutes slower than normal. It's 30 minutes out of Auburn alone. And we're inching closer to 40 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. No surprises for you guys there through the S-curves. By the time you're at 44th, it's okay, then a little bit more into South Bellevue. Out of the north end, well over an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Not only is it heavy away from Linwood on I-5 and 405, we're picking up some slowing in Totem Lake and definitely for I-5 getting down south of Northgate. And I'm also looking for a new crash on southbound of I-5 right through JBLM. I'm not sure if that's if there's a crash or that might be related to the fact that the Madigan Gate is closed earlier this week for construction, and it'll be that way until the middle of January. This report brought to you by KIRO Radio's Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476. Subscribe and get daily KIRO News Radio Rundown, all your updates from your favorite shows right to your inbox.
Great day to maybe get out, blow the leaves off the driveway so the trick-or-treaters aren't dragging them up to your porch tomorrow. We're headed for a high today of 55, dry. Tomorrow we start out dry, but by the time the trick-or-treating starts, that's when the rain comes. So just be ready for that. And over the weekend, we're looking for highs in the mid-50s, showers both Saturday and Sunday. 47 right now in Seattle. 7:45 now. A police officer logged into a virtual court hearing, but forgot one key detail. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
He sure did. A Detroit police officer left a judge speechless when he showed up for a Zoom hearing with no pants on. He was wearing the top of his uniform and just boxers. It was awfully bad timing since he was the person accused for reckless driving and public intoxication. A video of the hearing was posted on YouTube. Listen to this.
Yes, Officer Jackson, out of the 12th precinct.
You got some pants on, officer?
No, sir.
Officer Jackson, I'm gonna stop your camera.
In a statement, the Detroit police chief says, "Our apologies are hereby extended to the judges and the staff of the court, as well as anyone else who may have been in attendance during this incident."
You know, nobody bats an eye when Sully does that, but when a cop does it, everybody comes down on him.
Tisk tisk.
Yeah.
Has no one learned their lessons? I feel like during the pandemic, when everyone was doing Zoom things,
you're on mute.
Yeah, there were a lot of these snafus, and people should learn from that.
Sully.
I'm wearing pants.
You're wearing pants. All right. Thank you, Sully. And thank you, Katrina. It's 7:46. Now, quick word for the Seattle Seahawks season approaching the halfway point. We want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game November 9th. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, you just need to text APP to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link to download, and you can enter every day to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. All right, Sully, you have a choke point coming up.
Yeah, I do. Going to take a look at the new 167 tolling and, more importantly, how the State Patrol is enforcing it.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto-pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you. Because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Solomon.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
7:50 now. Sully is here with the choke point of the morning. The new tolling rules on SR 167 have been in effect for about 2 weeks, and drivers tell Sully they're still seeing a lot of cheating. So what kind of enforcement can you expect? Sully, you are here with details.
And I can tell you that whether you see the state troopers there or not, they are watching you. And they are watching for violations. If you're new to the upgraded toll system, there is a flashing light when you go under the tolling equipment. It flashes blue when charging a toll. It flashes white if you're declaring HOV. The flex pass on your windshield, you should all have one by now, determines the color of the flash, HOV mode or toll mode.
The light will go off if you're in HOV status. And so when that light goes off...
The white light?
The white light. And then... you can look and see, okay, there's only one person in that car.
That is the first indication that state troopers look for, that flash, according to State Trooper Rick Johnson. Troopers then can also look for the color of the pass, HOV red, toll white, and those show up on the opposite side of the flex pass as well, but they're very hard to spot at speed and certainly in the dark. Now, you can still try to cheat the system and declare HOV and roll solo. I'm not telling you to do that, and I'm telling you probably shouldn't. You run the risk of a ticket. And Trooper Johnson says that having standardized tolling equipment and rules will help with compliance and enforcement.
Now that there's going to be consistency throughout the tolling system, I think it's going to be easier for people to understand, and it'll be easier for us to enforce that because there's extra troopers out every day during the week in enforcing those, the toll lanes.
And they aren't just looking for HOV violations.
I understand the public says, well, we're not enforcing this. Well, we are. I mean, we're enforcing people that are jumping that double white line. And that's really a safety thing.
Jumping the double white line is probably one of the most dangerous things you can do in these tolled facilities. In a lot of cases, drivers pull out from the general lanes from a dead stop into the toll lanes and right into the path of a car traveling at speed that you probably can't even see when you looked over your shoulder. Don't do it. I get it. You're tempted. Downside, though, is massive. As for the HOV violators that are still rolling for free, Trooper Johnson says it's a sure way to invite other problems.
One of the number one complaints that we get, HOV violators. And then on the flip side, we get people going, well, we pay taxes. We should be able to use any lane we want. It's not a safety violation. Correct, but it's an inciting violation. We have a lot of road rage that begins with somebody violating the HOV lane.
Yeah, the HOV lane violation is a big one, a hot button issue for a lot of people. Now, I guess you guys probably shouldn't have to think very hard about the number one excuse given to troopers now for failing to flip that flex pass. Oh, I forgot. Well, that's not going to fly. They've heard that before. It's not that difficult. You'd have better luck putting a dummy in your front seat. Oh, wait a minute. They're also really good at catching that. You go to mynorthwest.com. You can see the skeleton that someone put in their passenger seat yesterday. A for effort and good for timing. bad for a ticket plus an enhancement there for putting a dummy in your seat. So I just have this one. Let's just try to all follow the rules and pay our fair share.
Okay, real quick, we had a couple questions come in while you were doing the report there, Sully. A question from Sue in Tacoma. She wants to know about the Good to Go pass. If you have one for the Narrows Bridge, will that same pass work on Highway 167?
It will help you you won't be able to declare HOV. That pass will get you the Good to Go price, but you won't be able to go in there as an HOV. You will have to pay the toll
unless
with that
you have
sticker pass.
If it's a sticker pass, but if it's an
a
adjustable
flex pass, if it's a flex pass, yeah, but you don't need a flex pass for the Narrows. You only need a sticker. Yeah. So if you want to go be HOV and not charge the toll on 167, you need to get a flex pass.
Does the flex pass work as a Good to Go pass as well?
Yeah. It just doesn't care if it's HOV or not.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And now let's check traffic. What is the trouble spot right now?
And also, just quickly, Ken asked me because he just saw a truck in the toll lane with a flex pass. If you're over 10,000 pounds, you can't use the HOV lane or the express toll lanes legally, at least according to DOT. The heaviest spot we have right now continues to be northbound I-5 through the South Center area. Travel time coming down, but we had a big crash up near 188th. It's about 48 minutes now from Federal Way to South Center. It's still close to an hour and a half to go all the way, so not pleasant. Valley Freeway, still about an hour and 10 minutes. Brake lights in the usual places. A few more people coming out of Auburn because of them trying to avoid I-5. Renton to Bellevue's over 40. Both Lake Bridges starting to see some westbound slowing now. Coming down from the north end, hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Westbound 2 and 204 are just jammed up trying to get to the east end of Trestle. I'll check into that later. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
You know, Jason in Everett has the cheat code, the tinted windows with kids in the back seat. We've heard this problem over the years.
Yeah, tinted windows, as Bobby Boucher's mother would say. They're the devil. No, we need to take care of
the State Patrol.
Yeah.
We're headed for a high of 55 today. Tomorrow, mid-50s as well, but a chance of rain come trick-or-treating time in the evening. It's 47 right now.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile.
Well,
see, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
Those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts.
An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump and China's President Xi have dialed back the trade tension on rare earth elements and American farm products, and the word is tariffs will be cut on Chinese goods entering the U.S. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
If that tariff comes down by 10%, right now that's something that consumers, businesses, the supply chain are absorbing. And in theory, that relief might be passed on to the consumers. I think the bigger thing is not necessarily relief for consumers, but it's not more pain. Remember, this would be in opposition to a 100% additional tariff.
And President Trump suggesting the U.S. will resume testing nuclear weapons for the first time in 3 decades. Such a move stands to be a big shift in American policy.
We've halted it many years ago, but with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
The Kremlin said its testing of nuclear-powered capable weapons did not amount to a direct test of an atomic weapon. Now to Paris, CBS's Holly Williams reports on the investigation into the high-profile jewel robbery.
The French police now have a total of 7 suspects in custody in connection with the heist here at the Louvre Museum. Now, 2 of those suspects were arrested on Saturday. They have now been charged, and if convicted, they could face sentences of up to 15 years.
The police say they have not recovered any of the stolen jewels. Jamaica is trying to bounce back from the devastating and deadly blow delivered by Hurricane Melissa. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
For the southwestern end of the island, it is serious damage and in some instances, total devastation.
There was catastrophic flooding in Haiti and significant damage in eastern Cuba. From Detroit, WWJ reporter Jeff Gilbert says federal safety investigators are looking at more than 500,000 Honda vehicles for 2 different issues.
2023 and 24 model year Honda Pilots could have an issue with a warning light that could incorrectly alert drivers about the use of rear passenger seatbelts. It's a different issue for 2018 to 22 model year Odyssey minivans. There have been reports that some side airbags deployed when the vehicles hit a pothole.
On the Health Watch, CBS's Michael George tells us common infections could pose other possible dangers.
A UCLA study found both the flu and COVID, as well as chronic infections like HIV, raise the risk for serious cardiovascular events. Researchers say the study highlights how critical it is to get vaccinated for the flu and COVID.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 335 points. The S&P and NASDAQ are trading lower. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
It's 8:03. Let's check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we are definitely seeing some improvement now on northbound I-5 after this long-term crash we had up near 188. We're back down to about an hour and 15 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. So only maybe about 10 minutes slower than you might have expected and 35 minutes into South Center. So we're definitely seeing some improvement. No reason to bail and head down to 167 anymore because that corridor is really starting to bog down out of Auburn. It's 35 minutes alone just from Auburn up into Renton and about an hour and 10 total because of the slowing we have in Pacific. And then down in that same general area, a little bit further to the southwest, we do have a crash down the South Hill on eastbound 512, which is causing some slowing about halfway down towards Meridian, definitely backing us up. So keep that in mind. Across the lake, we're still doing okay. Some westbound slowing on I-90 just off of Mercer Island, but you can manage it. Renton to Bellevue's running right around 35 minutes. Out of the north end, about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20, depending on how you hit it. For I-5, it's not as terrible through Linwood as it is on 405, but definitely you're picking it up south of Northgate across the U District. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Good morning. Welcome to the Thursday, October 30th, 2025 edition of Seattle's Morning News. It's 8:04. Manda Factor has the day off. I'm Charlie Harger with a look at the day's top stories. Election Day, just 4 days away, and Washington's top election officials sounding the alarm. Secretary of State is urging voters not to mail in their ballots, warning new postal delays could mean some votes don't get counted. Here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joining us live in studio with more.
Yeah, Charlie, for the first time, we are seeing votes not being counted because of new operational changes at the U.S. Postal Service. There's no longer any guarantee that your letters, your packages, and all of our mail-in ballots will be stamped and postmarked the same day the Postal Service takes possession of it. Haley Watkins with the King County Elections told me they recently saw this impact during the August primary, when some of the ballots during the primary did not get counted.
I know several other counties did see a big jump in how many ballots were returned too late because they didn't get that on-time postmark.
Oh, yesterday, Secretary of State Steve Hobbs sent us a statement, sent it out to a lot of people, urging voters to use a drop box instead of the Postal Service. Elections officials tell me even if you physically hand it to someone at the post office, there's still no guarantee.
Folks at this point should really go ahead and use that drop box. If they want to mail it, physically walk it into a post office and ask somebody at the counter to stamp it for you because you are not guaranteed a postmark on the same day that you drop your ballot in the mail.
So you got to ask someone, hey, can you stamp it for me right here in front of me so I can see that? You know, Charlie, this is going to really affect people mostly in rural areas because the Postal Service has been planning to end afternoon mail pickups for the most part at post offices that are far away from regional hubs. That's rural areas. Cities are closer to those regional hubs. It's all about cutting costs. The post office is projecting a $6.9 billion loss this current fiscal year. So where is your nearest drop box? We've got you covered. Don't worry. There's a link to the master list of all ballot boxes on mynorthwest.com. Just look for my story. It's up there right now, and the link is in that story.
Luke, thank you for the update. 8:06 now. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell continues to trail challenger Katie Wilson by about 5 points in recent polls. Even so, Harrell tells the Jason Rance show on Seattle Red 770 AM he thinks he's going to win in November.
There's brand A or brand B at this point that people are seeing the two distinctions, and there's no learning curve on this job.
Wilson recently told KIRO News Radio's John Curley that since she started campaigning, she has been forced to prioritize certain things.
So I feel like I've learned a lot through that. And,
Have you learned that you're tougher than you thought you were?
Absolutely.
Now let's head over to the race for King County Executive. Polls show that race is too close to call. Seattle Times reports Claudia Balducci holds a slight edge over Gurmai Zahalai. A new poll from the Northwest Progressive Institute shows Balducci at 37%. Zahalai at 35%. 28% of voters still undecided. Both candidates are progressive Democrats and largely agree on policy. Ballots are due by 8 in the evening Tuesday. And by the way, we will have both Balducci and Zahalai on Seattle's Morning News tomorrow.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Oh, yeah. Good morning. This is Seattle's Morning News. It is a news show, I promise you. Thursday, October 30th. It's Halloween Eve. We're having a little fun in studio. Manda has the day off. She would be regulating on Sully and me by this point. Don't you agree, producer David?
Yes, yeah. She generally kind of keeps all of us guys wrangled a little more.
She's the adult in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
Melinda pointed that out from Bellevue earlier this morning, that she's like, it's off the rails.
Yeah.
Thanks, Manda.
Yeah. That's why we need her here. Katrina Gishard is out at the news desk. She's following the big stories throughout the morning. We have Nick Frazier in the control room today, running the board and picking the tunes, so thank you for that, Nick. Well, we are less than a week away from the general election day in Washington State. Be sure to get those ballots in. And just a reminder, we will be having both Claudia Balducci and Gurmai Zahalai on the show tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Coming up on this hour of the show, we'll speak with CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. He's going to explain what it means for the U.S. to begin nuclear weapons testing for the first time in 30 years. Plus, we'll have some fun. What are your plans for Halloween? What's etiquette in your neighborhood with trick-or-treaters? When do you turn the porch light off? Text into the show, 888-973-5476. We'll talk about that at the end of the hour. This is Seattle's Morning News. It is an unfortunate sign of the times. Pop-up emergency food distribution centers, and one of the largest is at the Tacoma Dome. We sent KIRO News Radio's James Lynch to check it out.
Families waiting sometimes for hours to put food on the table as we see SNAP and other food assistance programs being cut because of the government shutdown. The event is sponsored by Eloise's Cooking Pot Food Bank. President Andrea Blue says they are helping people now they've never helped before.
They've driven across other counties, from Olympia, from Kitsap County, from Seattle, to come get food at this distribution.
Each car gets a box of food with 9 meals plus fresh vegetables and a protein. In Tacoma, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
More than 90,000 fentanyl pills are off the streets of Western Washington. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun reports the DEA announced a major drug bust in Seattle.
10 people were arrested after a year-long investigation. Not only are they accused of trafficking various drugs, but police also seized 34 guns, including assault rifles. Search warrants were served at 12 different locations. On top of the 90,000 fentanyl pills, they found 55 pounds of suspected fentanyl powder. Agents also found meth, heroin, cocaine, and $40,000 in cash.
Washington State is wrapping up what is called a typical wildfire season, but trouble is looming if the state doesn't fully fund firefighting efforts. That's according to Lands Commissioner Dave Upthegrove.
If we can prevent or reduce the size of 1 or 2 large fires, this will more than pay for itself.
After the deadly 2020 fire season, the legislature approved $500 million over 8 years for wildfire fighting and prevention. Facing a budget deficit in the last legislative session, lawmakers cut this year's allotment in half. Supporters suggest money from the Climate Commitment Act could be used to fully fund firefighting and prevention efforts. Washington Senator Maria Cantwell is demanding answers from the NBA amid a betting scandal. Cantwell and Senator Ted Cruz sent a letter to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver urging transparency after federal indictments accuse players and coaches of rigging games and leaking insider information. They want a full response from Silver by November 10th. More honors for Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. He's been named Player of the Year and American League Outstanding Player by the MLB Players Association. Both awards are voted on by fellow players. Raleigh is the first Mariner ever to win Player of the Year. At 8:12 now, let's check weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. It looks to be dry today, cloudy, highs mid-50s. Tomorrow, Nick, our friend over at KIRO 7 TV, has called it a pinpoint alert day. He's expecting a downpour just in time for trick-or-treating to start late in the afternoon into early evening. So likely a wet one tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday, spotty showers and maybe a little breezy. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 47. 8:13 coming up on that. We check in with Sully with traffic on the 3s.
And we're definitely getting back to normal. We're pretty close to back to normal on northbound I-5 from Federal Way up through South Center after the crash we had at 188. We're back down to about 30 minutes to South Center. It's still about an hour and 15 all the way to Seattle because of the brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge. But we're definitely getting there. We've kind of returned to normal. Looking at the Valley Freeway to the east, not terrible. A lot of people bailed and went down to the Auburn area to try to come up 167 to avoid I-5. You don't need to do that anymore because Auburn is filled in. We're up to about 35 minutes out of Auburn. Still have the braking through Pacific in about an hour and 10-minute trip from Puyallup up to Renton. Still working with the remnants of this crash on eastbound 512 as we work our way down the South Hill, continuing to see a backup approaching the interchange and then halfway down the hill before it breaks free. Northbound I-5's seeing some slowing in South Everett or South Tacoma. Nothing you can't handle. Eastbound 16's about normal past Cheney Stadium. The Renton to Bellevue Drive about 40 minutes. The lake bridges are still holding their own. Westbound 90 still tough through Eastgate. It always is. There's a lot of weaving and merging and people jockeying trying to get down to 405. And coming from the north end, we are definitely looking at about an hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, about average for a Thursday. And 204 and Highway 2 continue to be very slow trying to get to the east end of the trestle. My best guess there, fog. I can't even see the trestle from the fog. You're driving right into basically a fog bank. So that's probably the slowing there. If you come across a crash on the way, please let me know. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Best place to watch your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there, emeraldqueen.com.
8:14 now. The Whitney Houston Challenge is sweeping across social media. What's that? Well, Katrina Gishard is here to explain.
Okay, so the goal is to hit the snare drum at exactly the moment of the famous drum beat at the end of this song.
I wish you love.
Believe it or not, it's not as easy as it seems. Listen to these people try to match the beat at a recent event in Austin, Texas. Okay, if we have time, is anyone up for the challenge?
I just tried it and I failed.
You have to do like a 5-second count before the beat drops.
Sully,
I didn't even know it was that song until I heard the hook. So I guess I only I don't even know that that's a thing. Okay. Shocking.
Still missed it.
Okay, well, we tried.
Can't we just go with Phil Collins? Everyone's like, do.
That's 2 minutes, 37 seconds into the
I
song.
figured you'd know that. At what radio station did you use
94.5 Roxy.
I learn something new every day.
Okay. Thank you, Katrina. It's 8:15.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
As President Trump traveled through Asia this week, he had been making headlines about his plans for the U.S., and one that is especially shocking was his affirmation. He has instructed the Pentagon to resume the testing of nuclear weapons on U.S. soil for the first time in 30 years. Joining us now to explain is CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. Okay, I did not expect this. What spurred the president to make this announcement, Jeff?
Charlie, I don't know. I very rarely say that to you, and I cannot fathom this one for a number of reasons. One is nobody else is conducting nuclear testing. The last time the Russians conducted a nuclear test, it was still the Soviet Union in 1990. The last time the Chinese conducted a formal nuclear test was 1996, and the United States conducted the last test in 1992. We're all signatories to a thing called the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, which was never ratified by the Senate, but we have always complied with it ever since. And so there hasn't been any nuclear testing. The only outlier, of course, has been the North Koreans, but their last test was, I think, 10 years or so ago. So I'm a little unclear what the president is talking about, number one. Number two, directing the so-called Department of War, I'm sorry, it's the Department of Defense to me, to conduct a test is misspoke as well, because they don't do that. Testing of nuclear weapons was always done by the Department of Energy, and the National Nuclear Security Administration, which is part of energy. A little difficult for them to do that right now because most of their employees are furloughed because of the government shutdown. And to conduct a test, which is normally conducted in Nevada in the past, would take 24 to 36 months to prepare the facility for the actual test, underground pit, and all that kind of stuff, and millions and billions of dollars. So there's some concern the president is confusing the Russian announcement of testing a new missile, which is a delivery system, with the conduct of a test of an actual warhead. But from the subsequent comments he's made, at least so far on Air Force One coming home, he's persisted with that.
Why don't we test these nuclear devices?
It's considered to be very escalatory. It's obviously very bad for the environment in terms of, possible problems that might envision. And frankly, the people I've worked with, nuclear scientists, and I've worked a lot with the National Nuclear Security Administration, honestly, don't feel a need. They think that very sophisticated computer simulation analysis can give them the kind of reliability they think is required. That being said as well, the United States has been modernizing our delivery systems. We're now producing a new ICBM, which will replace the Minuteman. We are producing a new nuclear submarine to launch ballistic missiles, and we're in the process of fielding a new bomber to replace the B-52, B-1, B-2. So we've been modernizing our delivery systems. The Russians did, which I think was a bit of saber rattling on Putin's part, announced the testing of a new so-called nuclear-powered missile with a range of about 8,000 miles, which they claim would be a game changer. I don't really think it is, because I don't think they've produced it in any significant numbers, and it really doesn't give them much more capability than they had with their previous ballistic missiles. And the Chinese are expanding their force, and we'll have about 1,000 nuclear warheads probably by 2030. But again, that's a testing of delivery systems and not a testing of actual warheads.
Notably for people listening right now, the sub base out at Kitsap, Bangor, that is where Ohio-class subs are, and those are the ones that do carry the nuclear devices all across the world's oceans. So certainly a very strong local connection to nuclear confrontation here in the Pacific Northwest. Jeff, I have asked you about this before, but let's circle back to Annie Jacobs' book, which is called Jacobson's book, called Nuclear War, A Scenario. It came out last year. She asserts in that book that basically once a nuclear war starts, even if it's just one missile lobbed over from, say, North Korea or Pakistan, wherever, that 72 minutes, billions upon billions of people are dead. That truly is how quickly nuclear war can annihilate basically the human race.
Potentially, I think that is absolutely correct, because what would happen would be a breakdown not only of society, but a breakdown of command and control. And so you get kind of a spasmodic response as both sides feel a need to launch and try to limit damage by trying to take out any residual force an opponent has not employed up to that point. I'll give you one example on a smaller level based on an exercise I was involved in involving India and Pakistan. Each of those two countries has about 150 nuclear weapons, plus or minus. In the simulation, an exchange of only 50 weapons between each country resulted in the deaths, according to the simulation, of millions and millions of people in South Asia. But the other problem was it created a so-called cloud of debris, which basically would cause a nuclear winter to occur for the next two growing seasons across large portions of Asia and Southeast Asia, and millions of people would subsequently die of starvation. So the consequences in the aftermath, when Hiroshima and Nagasaki occurred, which were the only uses of nuclear weapons in warfare, we have to remember that within 24 hours, there were trains arriving, people arriving relief, there was humanitarian assistance, there was even in the midst of World War II, the Japanese were able to provide relief supplies to those cities which had been devastated. When you talk about the atomic attack she describes in her book, or this computer simulation I mentioned, there's nobody coming to your rescue. We're going to go rescue or try to assist Jamaica. In this case, there'd be nobody coming, okay? So millions of people would die in the aftermath, not only from the detonation, but from their injuries in the aftermath, from cancer, from exposure, from disease. It just goes on and on and on because of the level of overall devastation and society being totally dislocated in the process.
And Jeff, in that book and also in the Netflix movie House of Dynamite, which just came out last week, it's brought up. I think a lot of people falsely assume that we have something like the Iron Dome. President Trump is proposing a Golden Dome, and somehow we'd be able to shoot these nuclear warheads out of the sky before they were a threat to the U.S.
No, we don't have that. I mean, we have a minimal missile defense. Most of it's on the West Coast, by the way, not in Washington State, but it's in Alaska and California. There are a couple of bases. That is designed sort of for the House of Dynamite scenario, a very limited attack, primarily, for example, to try to halt if the North Koreans were to attack with only a few missiles. But that's a very limited response, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get every one of them. You know, don't forget, shooting down a missile which is incoming is trying to hit a bullet with a bullet is basically what you're trying to accomplish. The Golden Dome thing obviously would be a massive effort to cover the entirety of the United States. Don't forget Hawaii. Don't forget Guam and a couple other places. Probably have to involve Canada, who are part of the North American Air Defense Command anyway. And therefore, as a consequence, we're talking thousands of launchers, massive expansion of command and control, satellites that could communicate and identify incoming missiles. So the administration has talked about something less, I think, than $100 billion that this Golden Dome would cost. I got to tell you, everybody I've talked to outside of government has said, you know, you like $1 trillion? Pick $1 trillion. I was working in the Pentagon during the Reagan years when we were also trying to do the same thing, you may recall, with what was called Star Wars. And after spending billions and billions of dollars, we have a couple of sites and a lot of nice briefing presentations, but really have not been able to create a system that could deal with the massive attack by thousands of weapons that the Russians and soon the Chinese could launch if they decided to do so.
All right. CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. As always, thank you for your time this morning, Jeff. We need to get over to the traffic desk where Chris Sullivan is keeping an eye on the roads.
And one of the reasons why northbound I-5 is still kind of bogging down getting past Boeing Field is because we had a stall block in a center lane. Getting up towards the Michigan curve, they quickly got that over to the right shoulder, but we're still running at about 45 minutes from South Center into downtown and an hour and 15 all the way from Federal Way to Seattle. So still struggling there. Over 40 minutes now from Renton to Bellevue. We have brake lights now over the top of I-90 with all the weaving and merging there. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, we're trying to get better. It's just going to take some time. We've got about an hour and 10-minute trip with Auburn on up being a half an hour. Still working with this crash halfway down the South Hill on eastbound 512, which is causing about an 8-minute delay for you guys. Olympia to Tacoma is not too bad. There are some brake lights on eastbound 16. Pretty heavy, actually, past 19th or Cheney Stadium there. Coming down from the north end, you're going to need about an hour and 15-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Getting reports there might be a new crash or stall in Linwood. I'm looking for that one right now. 405 is really packed in away from Linwood. Then again in Kirkland. I-5, same deal. Linwood, and then again as you work your way into the U District. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250. Say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
You've been hearing me rave about my experiences with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Well, you won't believe what Integrity is doing in October. They're giving away a free roof to someone in need. That's right, a free roof. Do you know a deserving family who could benefit from a free roof? Then visit IntegrityRC.com, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone today. What an incredible opportunity to help someone upgrade and protect their home. Go to IntegrityRC.com now, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone in need. IntegrityRC.com, because doing the right thing matters.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. Microsoft's Azure Cloud Network is bouncing back after a major outage rippled across the country yesterday morning. It disrupted Office 365, Xbox Live, even grounded check-in systems for Alaska Airlines. And following this story for us and joining us live is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Hey, good morning, Charlie, and everyone else. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, on the YouTube feed here, I think this kind of illustrates everything we're talking about. Check out the spike there, that big red spike. This is from a down detector. It's an application out there that people go on and say, hey, I'm reporting that there's an outage. This was the spike at 9 a.m. yesterday, Pacific time, when Azure went down. You can see the number of reports of the outage shot up there.
If you're looking at it, so you start at 6 a.m., there's nothing. No outages being reported. Then right at 9, kablooey.
Yeah, it's massive, pretty massive. 100 million Xbox Live users were impacted. There are 100 million worldwide. M365 is used by more than 3.5 million companies as well. I mean, this is a big-time outage. Microsoft says the outage was triggered by an inadvertent configuration change that impacted the Azure Front Door Delivery Network. Well, that's a network that delivers web and other content like really, really quickly. Here's Ian Schur, a tech contributor at CBS.
So that suggests
that they were going through some sort of a software update or changing some sort of feature, and that's what caused all of this to get broken. So let's dive a little deeper. Let's get really geeky on this just for a second. Just give this to me for a second.
Doesn't sound like you.
What is Azure's front door network? What the heck is that, and why do we even care? Well, okay, basically it's a front gate to web apps and online services that run on Azure. It sits between a user and a Microsoft cloud infrastructure. So they do that in order to route the data to a company that needs it when they need it in real time. For instance, people checking into a flight, they're going to need to interact with that website, very, very quickly. A robot in a factory. You don't want a robot in a factory freezing even for a second, because that could cost you millions of dollars. So that explains that. To fix the issue, Microsoft basically put everything back together the way it was. The company says the outage has now been resolved. But I've got another question for you. Why do we even care about the Azure front door network? Well, because Costco's website was down. Those poor Alaska Airlines passengers at SeaTac, they could not check in. And this was the second outage in just the last week of that airline. And Starbucks customers couldn't use their app to order their drinks. I know for Charlie, for you, you're especially worried about this one. You couldn't get your pumpkin spice latte. Or I know your other second favorite is the iced brown sugar oatmeal shaken espresso, apparently also huge with Gen Z and millennials.
Oh, I'm known for my association with Gen Z and millennials.
Yeah. So
that one's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good. There you go, David. Anyways, not poking a little fun at it. But yeah, massive outage. Everything is back online. But wow, what an impact.
Yeah, really goes to show how much something you don't even think about has such a huge impact worldwide.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Luke. Let's check in with Sully now. He is at the traffic desk.
And we are back to stall and accident-free reasonably. So let's try to keep that going. Some of the things we're working on are still over on the shoulders, but we're improving. So if you're on the northbound I-5 drive, we're definitely well back to normal from Federal Way into the South Center area. And we're looking at 45 minutes from South Center to downtown. Maybe a couple of minutes tardy, but overall an hour and 5-minute trip total from Federal Way is not bad. Now, if you normally use 509 or 99 to go north across the First Avenue South Bridge, you might want to consider an alternate because we have a brand new, what it looks like a collision involving, it may involve a big rig right there at the very north end of the First Avenue South Bridge, in the right-hand lane, right after the Michigan area. So as you come off the First Avenue South Bridge, one of the lanes is blocked there, right there on East Marginal Way. Not a good spot for a crash, so I'm watching that closely, again, in the Georgetown neighborhood. Renton to Bellevue, about 40 minutes, 45, depending on how you hit the volume at I-90. Nothing out of line. The Valley Freeway's trying to get better. We're a little under an hour now, if you can believe it, from Puyallup to Renton. Lake Bridges are seeing some slowing westbound, but nothing you can't handle. And out of the north end, we've got about an hour and 15-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Rather normal-looking Thursday morning there. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It's been voted best in the Northwest. And to celebrate, save 25% off new windows through October. Defer payment for the next 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Well, we're looking for clouds today. It'll stay dry throughout most of the day and into tomorrow. We start out with some showers in the morning, and then by the afternoon, some steady rain. It could be heavy at times, just in time for trick-or-treating tomorrow. Highs will be in the mid-50s. On Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at showers throughout the day. Right now in Yelm, it's 39, 43 in Everett, and in Seattle, it's cloudy and 47.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
8:36 now. With fewer people drinking than ever before, more businesses and organizations are serving up alternatives. Here's CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano.
It's 10 o'clock in Miami, and the party is raging. Not 10 o'clock at night, 10 in the morning. And there's not a drop of alcohol to be found.
Daybreaker is a sober community, first and foremost. So you don't come in, there's no psychedelics.
Radha Agrawal is the host of this party, one of almost 1,000 Daybreaker events held in more than 60 cities since 2013. It's an appealing idea, with Americans now drinking less than ever before. Only half of young adults say they drink alcohol, down from more than 70% 4 decades ago.
Sick and tired of going out on a Friday night, waking up Saturday being hungover.
I think people are waking up to all these longevity and health and wellness practices, that we have to take care of what we're putting inside our bodies.
Sober curious doesn't mean quitting alcohol. It means cutting back.
Like maybe you have one alcohol beer and then you have a non-alcoholic beer and then like you call it a day.
I heard it's called zebra striping.
Zebra striping, yes.
Tani Lara wrote the book on dating sober. She now runs Parentheses, a Brooklyn-based non-alcoholic spirit company.
Even 5-10 years ago, you tell a friend, I'm taking a break from alcohol right now, that could raise some concern. Where now it's very common. It's like, it's almost social.
Spirited Away opened in New York City in 2020 as America's first booze-free bottle shop. The shelves are stocked with zero-proof wines, beers, and spirits. Alex Highsmith is the co-founder.
Who are your customers?
Yeah, all generations, all ages, all persuasions, all genders. It's the same people that drink alcohol want to drink non-alcoholic stuff. They're just looking to moderate.
The global market for non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits hit nearly $20 billion in 2023, double what it was just 4 years earlier. Even big alcohol is getting in on the act, investing in alcohol-free alternatives like Tanqueray's Zero Proof Gin and Diageo's Guinness Zero Proof Stout.
I saw so much potential for events where people want to gather without sort of having the pressure or even presence of alcohol.
We are saying at our events and through the culture that we're building to break the codependence.
You don't need the drink in your hand.
You don't need a drink in your hand to have a good time.
Yeah.
For millions of Americans, the sober curious wave isn't about giving something up. It's about gaining something back. Quality of life, and maybe even a few more years of living it. For Eye on America, I'm Lilia Luciano in Miami, Florida.
So, okay, it sounds like young people are not drinking as much. We were talking about this earlier, David. Is this sobriety? Are they perhaps turning to other substances? What are you seeing?
Can you not afford a $19 cocktail?
All of those things. Yeah, I think part of it is legalization of marijuana. I think people are choosing that because it tends to not have quite the hangover that alcohol does. Alcohol is very expensive nowadays. And it feels like where the social pressure used to be to have a drink out at a bar, now that there's those alternatives, people feel a little more free. They don't even have to tell people that they're sober. They can just order an NA beer and be sipping on that and kind of no one's the wiser. So.
Okay. How far along have NA beers come? Because the last time I had one, maybe 5 years ago, it pretended to be an IPA.
Yeah, I think the IPAs, the stouts, those are still kind of hard to replicate. But my beer of choice, which is the light kind of garbage beer, as some people might, or watery beer, Bud Lights and Heinekens and those sorts of things, they have done a pretty good job of making the non-alcoholic ones. So I'll sometimes buy those just to be able to have an afternoon beer. We get off very early here.
Yeah.
An afternoon beer and not feel like I'm like doing something that's too crazy.
There you go. I know, Sully. I know. What's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the slowing on the First Avenue. They're right at East Marginal Way in the Georgetown neighborhood, home of Georgetown Brewing. I'll check it out coming up next.
Your time is money. So why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. A super pod of Biggs orcas has spent the past week hunting in the waters between Seattle and Port Townsend, According to naturalists from Puget Sound Express, a pod of orcas generally refers to a specific family group. A superpod refers to a larger grouping from multiple families. Right now, the T99s, T137s, and members of the T38 family are gathered together and dispatching seals, sea lions, and harbor porpoises. Tours are also seeing humpback whales and minke whales this time of year. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend. Don't miss out on your chance to see orcas and humpbacks in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Ooh, mate, remember those yodelers we met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
8:43, let's check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we are rolling relatively well now. I mean, the travel times are up, but nothing super out of line. The one exception that you need to be aware of is this crash we have in Georgetown on East Marginal Way, right there where the First Avenue South Bridge transitions to East Marginal Way. So we're looking at a backup on 509, pretty significant. And then 99's not bad getting to the First Avenue South Bridge, but this has the potential. The right lane is blocked there. We're still working with this stalled box truck over on the right shoulder near the Michigan curve. One of the reasons why we're still rolling at about 45 minutes from South Center and an hour and 5 all the way from Federal Way. Northbound 167, about a 10-minute delay getting in through the Pacific Lane restrictions. And then Auburn has a little bit more at the north end, but we're under an hour to make the whole drive. Going the other direction on 405, 50 minutes now to make that trip with the brake lights heavy all the way up past 44th and then a little bit more getting in to the South Bellevue area. Across the lake, we are looking at a new crash now. Wow, as soon as I said we were accident-free, I did it. It's my fault. Westbound 520 as you approach Montlake, checking on the lane. I'll have more for you on that in 10. 990 is a better bridge at this point. And coming down from the north end, looking really good until you get to about Linwood. It's about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle. The U District is heavy, about an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 on 405 down to Bellevue. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Best place to watch your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there, emeraldqueen.com.
Dry today, but a Halloween downpour in the forecast. We are expecting it's to start off with light showers tomorrow, but by mid-afternoon into the early evening, that's when we have heavier rain throughout western Washington. Over the weekend, showers both Saturday and Sunday. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 47. Katrina Gishard is here. She tells us a young man caught speeding had one surprising excuse. What was it?
All right. So Inside Edition found body cam of a 19-year-old being arrested for driving 106 miles an hour on a Florida road. But the real surprise came when the officer asked the teen why he was driving so fast. And he said his mom told him to. Santiago Lodano told the officer his mom rushed him to get his younger brother, who was in the backseat, home fast.
She wants you to drive 106 miles an hour down the bridge. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to be doing 106 anyways. If you get caught doing 50 miles over the posted speed limit on any roadway in the state of Florida, it's an arrestable offense now.
Needless to say, the officer was not buying his response.
What was poor Santiago supposed to do? Ignore his mother? Disobey her?
Yeah.
I do wonder, why do officers always ask why you were going so fast? Why does it matter? You were going way too fast.
To try to get you to admit something else, and then they can continue their investigation and maybe find something else and ask you if you open the trunk, and then you're just, yeah, it's a tactic.
Why did you say that, Sully?
I don't know what you're talking about. Here's my lawyer's number, Charlie.
All right, Katrina, thank you. And a quick word here. The Seattle Seahawks season approaching. halfway point. We want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game November 9th. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link to download. You can enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd. Coming up, what is the proper etiquette if you live in a neighborhood with trick-or-treaters? We want to hear from you. Text in at 888-973-5476. I'm curious what you do when you run out of candy and you need to turn out the lights. How do you make sure kids know not to knock on your door or ring your doorbell? That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, we're in the final moments here on a Thursday edition of Seattle's Morning News. It's October 30th, and that makes Halloween tomorrow. We're all preparing in our own ways. I've got everybody in the studio with me right now. So over at the Harger household, we are in a neighborhood that is really good for trick-or-treating. So families have been coming over to our house for years. A lot of our friends live in neighborhoods that aren't great for trick-or-treating. So we'll have like 5 or 6 families come over, and we have a party. The kids go out trick-or-treating. It's a lot of fun. And one of the things my wife loves doing is she likes handing out full-size candy bars. So we make a trip to Costco, and we have the full-size candy bars we'll be handing out tomorrow. I probably shouldn't have announced that because all the neighbors are going to be coming over. Sully, what do you guys do?
Well, I really like the decorating part.
Yeah.
Just because I like to, because it's fun. I like to hear the kids. I sit by the door and wait so I can hear the kids, especially the young ones, reactions, especially the ones who don't want to walk up to our door, which has a flashing strobe light, and their parents are there. Then I open the door when I hear they're struggling. Like, no, it's okay. Don't hear it. I give out lots of candy to each kid. We have a pretty good neighborhood. A lot of kids in our neighborhood have kind of moved up to Tommy's age, but then the young, some other families have moved in. So yeah, super excited. I added a new thing. I gave it to you guys in our group chat. I finally found a garage door sleeve to put on. I'm excited for that. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. What about you, Katrina? Kids are just starting to get the age they could go trick-or-treating. Are they doing that tomorrow?
They could, but it's a soccer takeover. So my husband, he's got a match. So my son is really obsessed with Lionel Messi right now.
Okay.
So he's going to be an Inter Miami player. He's going to be Messi.
Oh, nice.
My daughter will be a little teeny Messi, and I'll just be a soccer mom. So we'll be cheering him on.
Okay. David, you and the family described a tomato costume.
Yes. Yeah. So Gemma is going to be a tomato. My wife and I are going to be gardeners. The thing is, she's 10 months old. She's too young to go trick-or-treating. I think what we're going to do, though, because we live right in a neighborhood where there's going to be a bunch of trick-or-treaters, I think we're going to take the dog for a walk around, scope out the scene, just kind of taking all the cute costumes and imagine in a couple of years when we're kind of at that stage. So it should be fun either way.
It gets really cute. Luke Ducey, we all spoke to you earlier. We were talking about what you do when you run out of candy.
And I noticed you saved me for last.
Yeah, I sure did, Luke.
Because you're a jerk.
So what kind of candy are you handing out to the trick-or-treaters, Luke?
That is a front-ended leading question, folks. I am not going to fall victim to that. So he's saying that because, a lot of time, and I think this year we're not going to have candy this year. We're not going to be prepared. We'll be there. But so what we do is we have a stair. We walk down the stairs to our house. So we tie a string up there with a little note saying no candy. We don't, so don't. And I prepared a statement, Charlie, for you. And the statement is this: the knee health and ankle health and safety of our neighbors are a top priority. We don't want them going down the stairs and hurting themselves if there's no candy and there's nothing there for them.
You could just put a bowl of candy at the top of the stairs.
You could stand at the top of the stairs.
Maybe we'll do that. I am
in the rain and hand it out to children.
I'm so obligated now, and I feel so bad. God, are you? I'm not. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it. But maybe I'll put the bowl of candy up there. All right. God,
we know he's not.
They're looking at me. If you're watching on the YouTube feed, they're looking at me and they're staring at me. And those
you're a skipper.
Pregnant pauses. Wow. I used to really like that. There are a lot of things in life. Now that my daughter's in college and away, I just don't want to do it anymore.
How high-pitched his voice is getting, how defensive
he is.
Defensive Ducey.
Here we go.
All right.
Let's
go
make a video about that downstairs and put that on YouTube.
It's a topic. Look out for it, folks. We're gonna break this down some more.
Sully has traffic.
Yeah, and while everything is kind of returning back to normal, I've got a little bit more information on this crash. Westbound 520 approaching Montlake. A couple of different cars. We've got an ambulance there, and it's basically blocking the entire westbound 520. You're only able to get off on the right-hand side on the off-ramp to Montlake and cut back in right before the Jersey barrier starts. Already have about a 2.5-mile backup behind this thing. So expect big delays on 520. Rest of the map about what you would expect, about an hour and 5 from Federal Way to Seattle, hour and 15 Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Rented to Bellevue about 45, and the Valley Freeway's back under 50. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And the forecast, today it'll be dry, cloudy. Tomorrow, morning clouds, but showers building to just plain old rain by trick-or-treating time, high in the mid-50s. Right now, it's 47 in Seattle. This is KIRO News Radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well,
I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th. New Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Carpoolers using the SR 167 Express toll lanes now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma.